Hello friends, today we are to see some basic concepts in organic reaction mechanism. So the terms are bond fission, electrophiles, nucleophiles, basicity, nucleophilicity, and the types of reactions means classification of organic reactions. So these are the some fundamental things in organic reaction mechanism we have to discuss first. Before discussing bond fission, we have to see one very important but small concept in organic reaction mechanism is curved arrow. Curved arrow. So what is curved arrow? Curved arrow is nothing but such an arrow which we are showing during organic reaction mechanism. What is meant by this curved arrow? This curved arrow indicates flow of electron pair from electron rich to electron deficient species. So it is indicating electron pair transfer from one place to other place. It is started from the electron rich species and pointed at electron deficient species. This is one important thing. Second thing is it can start from anion, it pointed at cation. This is another thing. Or it can be started from the lone pair of electron, it can be started from the bond. If it is started from bond, bond can be broken. So here we have to see some very important things regarding this curved arrow. When we have, suppose simplest molecule water, here this water is having, oxygen is having lone pair of electron. When it get protonated, so here this arrow started from electron pair and pointed at positively charged proton. So it gives here H2O and this H. There is a bond formation between this oxygen donor and acceptor. But due to losing electron pair, positive charge attained by this oxygen, because this positive charge from hydrogen shifted to oxygen because this oxygen has lost its electron pair to catch proton. So here this is the meaning of curved arrow. When it is started from neutral species, it get protonated. When OH minus attacks on proton. So this is negatively charged species and positively charged species. When it is started from positively charged species and pointed at, when it is started from negatively charged species and pointed at positively charged species, there is a bond formation between this HO and this H, and the charges of both the species will be disappear. So it is here simply water molecule. So in this way, this is the simple meaning of curved arrow. And one fish hook arrow, or it is called as half arrow, which indicates flow of one electron, transfer of one electron, one or single electron, while it shows transfer of two electrons or electron pair. This is curved arrow. We need this curved arrow to understand bond fission. So this is the importance of curved arrow. When it is started from bond, bond must be broken. If it is started from negatively charged species and it is pointed at positively charged species, both the charges will be disappear. And when it is started from unchained electron pair, that atom having unchained electron pair will get positive charge. So in this way, these are the simple meanings of curved arrow. Now I have to see here bond fission. So the next topic is bond fission. Bond fission are of two types: homolytic bond fission and heterolytic bond fission. What is meant by bond fission? Suppose this is the bond present between these two atoms. Suppose this is the bond present between these two atoms. This bond is breaking like this, or this bond can be breaks like this. So in this way, here we have to discuss how the bonds can be breaks in organic compound. So the bond fission is nothing but bond breaking. This is nothing but bond breaking. So bonds can be breaks in two ways. One is homolytic bond fission, second is heterolytic bond fission. Now we have to see first homolytic bond fission. In the homolytic bond fission, bond breaks in such a way electrons of the bonds goes to both the bonded atoms. Means here, if this is the bond present between the two atoms, this one electron goes to one bonded atom while other electron goes to other bonded atom, because each bond is made up of two electrons. So one electron goes to one bonded atom, other electron goes to other bonded atom. So here in the homolytic bond fission, if the bond present between suppose molecule AA, so here this one electron goes to one atom while other electron goes to other atom. This is called as homolysis, and this can be takes place using heat or light. So here 2A radicals we get. After homolytic bond fission, the species are generated called as free radicals. So here this is free radical. When we have the molecules such as CH3, in presence of light, this is a symbol of light, H nu. So when this ethane undergoes homolytic bond fission, gives 2 methyl radicals. When peroxides are irradiated in presence of light, such as PHCO, OCO, PH. So here there is a loss of 2 carbon dioxides. So here this electron goes here, this electron goes here, and here this one pH radical and this another pH radical. So there is a loss of 2 carbon dioxide molecules and gives 2 phenyl radicals. So in this way the free radicals are generated due to homolysis, means the bond breaks in such a way both the electrons of the bond goes to both the bonded atoms and generates carbon free radical or various free radicals. Generally homolytic bond fission takes place in very less polar compounds or non-polar compounds. Now the second is heterolytic bond fission. The heterolytic bond fission basically takes place in polar compounds, such as when we have example of alkyl halide. In the earlier video we have discussed about inductive effect. Due to the minus I effect of this halogen, this bond shifted towards this X, and this R becomes electropositive, X becomes electron rich. So this X takes complete electron pair from this R and departs here from this R, and we get here this R plus here X minus. So cation and anion is generated from this. If we have example of tertiary butyl bromide, so this Br is detached from the tertiary carbon and gives carbocation, C plus CH3 plus Br minus. So in this way this is electron deficient species, that is carbocation, this is tertiary butyl carbocation is generated, means due to heterolytic bond fission cation and anion is generated. So in this way we can have the different types of examples in which during heterolytic bond fission both the electrons of the bond goes to both the one of the bonded atom. So both the electrons of this bond goes to one of the bonded atom, and it results electron rich species and electron deficient species, that is cation and anion. So in this homolytic bond fission and heterolytic bond fission we have discussed the bond breaking. In homolytic bond fission both the electrons of the bond goes to both the bonded atoms, but in heterolytic bond fission suppose this is the electron pair, this both the electrons goes to one of the bonded atom, and this becomes electron deficient and this becomes electron rich, that is anion, and here other is cation. So here this is the bond fission we have discussed. Now the next we have to discuss electrophiles and nucleophiles. The electrophiles are the electron deficient species. Electrophiles and electrophilic reagents. So electrophiles are electron deficient species, means the positively charged species or electron deficient species are called as electrophiles. As they are having positive charge, they have affinity towards electrons. So electrophiles means these are the electron loving species, means they have affinity towards electrons because itself they are having positive charge. So these are the positively charged species which are attracted by negatively charged species, that is nucleophiles. So these are attracted towards nucleophiles. Now electrophiles are generated by the reagents called as electrophilic reagents. So the electrophilic reagents are the reagents which are generates electrophiles. For example, electrophilic reagents such as HCl. If you see the examples of acids, HCl, HBr, H2SO4, HNO3. So these are the different reagents which generates proton, H plus ion. So these are the electrophilic reagents, or which are the acids. Some of the molecules such as Br2, Cl2 also acts as an electrophilic reagent, because during the halogenation reaction it generates bromonium ion. It also generates here Cl plus when it reacts with FeCl3, when it reacts with FeBr3. So during the bromination, such a bromonium ions are generated. During the chlorination, such a Cl plus is given by. Some other groups are there, or some other compounds are there which are also such as positively charged species, such as CH3 plus carbocation, tertiary carbocation, NO2 nitronium ion, and SO3. So 3 is also electrophilic. Now some Lewis acid catalysts are there, such as AlCl3, FeBr3, which is used during the bromination, FeCl3, ZnCl2. So these are the various electrophilic reagents which are used during the different reactions. So these are the types of electrophiles and electrophilic reagents. Now we have to see second part of this, nucleophiles. What are nucleophiles? Nucleophiles are negatively charged species. These are the positively charged species, while these are the negatively charged species, or the species or the compounds having non-bonding electron pair or lone pair of electrons, or possessing lone pair of electrons. So these are the electron rich species which gives electrons to electron deficient species. So nucleophiles donates electrons to electrophiles. Electrophiles are electron deficient, while nucleophiles are electron rich. They donates electron pair to electrophiles. So the nucleophilic reagents are basically anions such as OH minus, NH2 minus, RO minus, RCO minus. So here we can have the different types of nucleophiles. We will have, in case of alkyl magnesium halide, R minus is there. So various negatively charged species acts as a nucleophiles. Some neutral species are also acts as a nucleophile, such as RNH2 amines, ROH lone pair amine, now N, R3, NH, R2. So these are this is the tertiary amine, this is the secondary amine. So these are also acts as a nucleophiles. So in this way, these are the different types of compounds or different types of reagents which donates electrons to the electron deficient species, which are called, these are called as nucleophiles. These are the nucleus loving species. Nucleus is positively charged, so they have affinity towards, nucleus means they have affinity towards positively charged species. These are having affinity towards negatively charged species. So these are the electrophiles, electron deficient. Nucleophiles are electron rich, they are electron pair donor, these are electron pair acceptors. Now I have to see here a small topic here in this again, that is nucleophilicity and basicity. So what is nucleophilicity and basicity? So nucleophiles means what? Nucleophiles are electron donors, they gives electron pair, while electrophiles are electron pair acceptors. So here nucleophilicity is It is a tendency or ability to give electron pair to electron deficient species. Means, or it is the strength of that nucleophile to mix bond with electron deficient species and displaces leaving group. For example, suppose we have nucleophilic reaction such as this is any nucleophile. When it reacts with this R and X, this is here one of the electrophilic reagent. So here what is nucleophilicity? This is the ability of this nucleophile to attack on this, means to mix bond with alkyl group or substrate and displaces leaving group. So the nucleophilicity has no absolute value, because suppose this is OR minus, this can be R minus, this can be OH minus, this can be any nucleophilic group. So nucleophilicity is relative term. So it is a relative term and it decides the rate of reaction. It decides rate of reaction, and this is here the kinetic term, because it decides here rate of that reaction. If the nucleophilicity is higher, then the rate of reaction is faster. If the nucleophilicity is lesser, then the rate of reaction is slower. Means nucleophilicity is, it is the ability of this nucleophile how fast it makes bond with this electron deficient substrate. So nucleophilicity is nothing but simply it is the strength of that nucleophile, or it is the ability of that nucleophile to make bond with that electron deficient carbon or electron deficient substrate. Now what is basicity? Here the basicity is, it is the strength to form bond with proton. So how fast it accepts proton. Basicity is nothing but how fast it makes bond with electron deficient proton or electron deficient hydrogen. So here this is the strength by which it makes bond with proton. Here it is the strength by which it makes bond with electron deficient species. Actually nucleophilicity and basicity are highly, means these are the closely associated term. Nucleophiles can be bases, bases can be nucleophiles, but here we can differentiate them by using the various aspects such as rate of reaction. Here the basicity, if you see the base, then basicity is expressed in terms of Kb and pKb. So here Kb is the dissociation constant of base, and here, or it is also called as basicity constant, and this is pKb is negative log of Kb. So pKb is equal to negative log of Kb. So here higher is the pKb, lesser will be its basicity, means pKb and the basicity are inversely proportional. Lesser is the pKb, higher will be its basicity. So here basicity has an absolute value. It has an absolute value, but here it is a relative term. Nucleophilicity is relative term. This is decided by the equilibrium. There is equilibrium established between the bases and the dissociated ions. So here there is always equilibrium established during the basicity, and it is decided by the equilibrium. So it is a thermodynamic term. So here it is thermodynamic term decided by equilibrium. So here these are the some differences between the basicity and nucleophilicity, but the simple meaning in our organic chemistry is the basicity is the ability to make bond with proton, while the nucleophilicity is the ability by which it makes bond with electron deficient substrate. So, so these are the very important things regarding this is bond formation with alkyl group, here the bond formation with proton or any electron deficient hydrogen. So here we have seen electrophiles, nucleophiles, and nucleophilicity and basicity. Now the next thing we have to see types of reactions. Types of organic reactions. Organic reactions are classified in different types on the basis of various aspects, such as changes takes place in substrate depends on type of reagent. It can be nucleophilic reaction, it can be electrophilic reaction, depends on kinetics, it can be unimolecular, bimolecular, trimolecular, means it can be first order, second order, third order, depends on the polarity, it can be polar reaction, it can be non-polar reaction. So organic reactions are classified in different types, but here we have to see classification of organic reactions on the basis of changes takes place in substrate. So on that basis, the classification of organic reaction in addition reaction, elimination reaction, substitution reaction, and last is rearrangement. So here this is the simple classification of organic reactions in different types: addition, elimination, substitution, and rearrangement. So what is addition reaction? The first is addition reaction. Addition reaction is, it is the addition of a molecule across the multiple bonded substrate. So here one molecule get added across the multiple bond of the substrate or this reactant. For example, suppose we have CH2 double bond CH2. When it undergoes addition of hydrogen molecule in presence of catalyst such as nickel or platinum, so here we get CH3 CH3. So here this H2 molecule get added across this, and this bond get broken, this bond get broken. So in this way CH3 CH3 ethane we can get from the ethylene. If we have CH2 double bond CH2 undergoes addition of Br2, so we get here CH2 Br CH2 Br. So here this molecule get added across this multiple bond. So the double bond is converted to single bond, and here this bond get broken, and this Br attaches to both the bonded atoms. So in this way, this is the addition reaction, addition of molecule across the multiple bond to give saturated. In this way, unsaturated compounds are converted to saturated compounds. Second, we have to see substitution reaction and elimination reaction. Elimination reaction is exactly opposite to addition. In addition, what we are doing? We are adding some molecule, while in elimination we are eliminating, we are removing some molecule. So here it is a loss of certain groups from the substrate. So this is a loss of molecule from substrate. Simplest example, suppose we have CH3 CH2 CH2 Br, 1 bromopropane. When treated with alcoholic base such as alcoholic KOH, so here this base takes this proton and this Br departed. So there is a loss of this H and Br from this. So we get here CH3 CH double bond CH2. So here this is the dehydrohalogenation, hydrogen and halogen loss during this reaction, and gives propene as a product, and this OH minus takes this proton and this Br combines with K. So here we get H2O plus KBr. So this is the elimination reaction. So in the elimination, the substrate loses certain groups from the molecule. If these are lost from the adjacent carbon, the group or the halogen is departed from this carbon, which is called as alpha carbon, and the hydrogen detached from the carbon called as beta carbon. So on the basis of loss of hydrogen, this elimination is called as beta elimination, or it is called as 1,2 elimination, because both the groups are detached from the 1,2 carbon. Cyclohexyl bromide. So here this H and this Br detached from adjacent carbons in presence of alcoholic base. So we get here cyclohexene minus HBr. This is dehydrohalogenation. So here there is a loss of H and Br from the adjacent carbon. This is also beta elimination reaction. So here this is the elimination reaction. Now next is substitution reaction. In the substitution reaction, there is a replacement of one atom or group by using other atom or group. Suppose this group is there attached to one of the carbon. So here this another group comes here and this replaced with this. So in this way, this is the replacement. This is the replacement. One group is replaced by using other group. So this is called as replacement reaction, that is substitution reaction, in which one of the atom or group replaced by using other atom or group, or one of the group is substituted by using other atom or group. It is called as substitution. This is simple replacement. Atom or group. So here if we have CH3, CH2, CH2, Br, one bromopropane, when it reacts with aqueous KOH. So here this OH minus ion attacks here and this Br detach. So this Br is replaced using OH and we get here CH3, CH2, CH2, OH plus this KBr. So here this is the substitution. This is here bimolecular nucleophilic substitution. This is SN2 reaction, because primary alkyl halide reacts with KOH, gives alcohol as a product, is called as SN2 reaction, bimolecular nucleophilic substitution. Here we have to see only there is a replacement of one of the atom or group using other atom or group. So here this can be any halogen, here this can be any nucleophilic group. Here the condition is one of the atom or group is replaced by using other atom or group. So here this group is there, this comes here, this is eliminated or this is lost. So it takes this group's position taken by other group. This is the substitution. And the last is here rearrangement category. What happens in rearrangement? In the rearrangement we get unexpected product due to the some skeletal rearrangements taking place during in the reaction across the intermediate. So this is the unexpected product formation. So we are predicting one compound but we are getting another compound. This is called as rearrangement reaction. So here the rearrangement we have to see here the simple example, when we are having, suppose this alcohol, and this undergoes reaction in presence of HCl, this undergoes chlorination. So what should be there? This OH is replaced by chlorine and this chlorine should attaches here, but no, here this chlorine takes this position and here instead of this actually we should get this minus H2O, okay, minus H2O. So this H and this OH, but instead of getting this we get this. Why? Because of the rearrangement. Why rearrangement taking place? Here there is a formation of carbocation and this carbocation is rearranged and this carbocation form, this get attacked by chlorine and we get this product. So instead of getting this chloride we get here this chloride. So in this way this is the rearrangement. In the rearrangement we get unexpected product because of certain rearrangements are involved during the stabilization of an intermediates. So here we have discussed some fundamental things in organic reaction mechanism. Thank you.